guys? Nick Lesegor here. Brandon's not here today, obviously. Exit 12 Brewery in the house. Brewing alone. Unfortunately, I was fortunate enough to get another Friday off of work. Baby's in daycare, why not brew? Brandon, not so fortunate. But we put a recipe together to utilize the Anvil Foundry, and for the third time, and that's what we're going to do. We're right now in the middle of the boil, but let's just go through the recipe. It's a classic West Coast IPA that we were going for. We are utilizing the Veterans Blend hops from Yakima Chief Hops from the year 2018. We're really excited about that. The hops in the 2018 Veterans Blend are Cashmere, Centennial, Yukonot, Mosaic, and Simcoe. So should give some nice tropical flavors, probably more on the citrusy end though, and a really smooth, easy bitterness. So we're utilizing the Veterans Blend as well as Cascade hops, which we're really excited about. And the malt bill is relatively simple. 11 pounds of Golden Promise, 2 pounds of Carafoam, and a pound of honey malt. And the basic idea was I was really in the mood for just a clean, crisp West Coast IPA with some Whirlpool hops, and Brandon agreed. And so that's why we put this specific recipe together. But the basic idea, the goal of this is to try to further dial in the Foundry, and that's why we're doing a more simple beer, something that'll be a nice solid drinker, something we can just throw in the kegerator. I've also kegged the apple cinnamon brown ale. We added some apple extract. It was actually a Fuji apple extract from One-on-One Flavors. I will leave the website in the description. But we utilized their blueberry for our blueberry Hefeweizen this past summer, and we absolutely loved it. And instead of going with the real apple, which is something we've done in the past, because we got more of the bitterness from the apple, as opposed to the fruitiness of the apple, we wanted to utilize an extract to see how that went, as well as 2 cinnamon sticks. And so that beer went into the kegerator, in the kegerator, 4.8 gallon yield. We have to get a pickup tube for the Firmzilla and cut it a little bit, longer so that we can get a little bit more of that beer. But we'll take 4.8 gallons. So right now my kegerator is full of beer, something that it hasn't been in a while. But overall, this is a brew day that we're both really excited about. We're about 20 minutes into the boil, so right now I'm going to show you some footage of the setup leading up to the point that we're at now. So the brew day is going okay. Still missing our numbers, which is a little bit of a disappointment. The pre-boil volume 6.25 gallons, that is down from 6.75 gallons from the last brew day. We cut it by a half a gallon because our finishing volume in the fermenter was so high. That was at 5.8 gallons. So we figure to get to 5.2 gallons, bring it down by 3/4 of a gallon, and hopefully in terms of yield we'll be there, which will hopefully dial in the numbers better. But in terms of the mash, only 67% mash efficiency, and I don't know why that is on this beer, because on the first beer we did, the New England IPA, we hit 84%, and those were flaked adjuncts. And in theory, flaked adjuncts are going to bring you down a few points in your efficiency because they don't have any fermentable sugars. So that's a little disappointing. The pre-boil gravity was supposed to be 0.60, and we hit 0.54. So we're down 6 points on the pre-boil gravity, and we hope we can make up some of it on the boil. But we'll just have to see. As I mentioned, we're 20 minutes in on the boil now. Next hop drop is coming with 10 minutes left, as well as some fining agents as well. But here is the brown ale. And as you can see, that thing is clear. This is definitely more of a traditional brown ale, as opposed to the first two times we brewed the Lateral Cohesion brown ale. It was more on the dark end because we utilized some chocolate malts and other things. I haven't tasted this yet. The final gravity was 0.19, which brought us at 4.6%. Again, low on the final gravity. We were supposed to be at 0.015, and so pretty disappointing. 4.6% is okay though. We were shooting for 5%, so it could be worse. But this is how it looks. Let's get a nose. Huge cinnamon. It smells really, really cinnamony, really rich of the cinnamon. We added 2 cinnamon sticks after fermentation in the primary vessel. We did not transfer this to secondary. We did add the One World Flock tablet, the Irish moss, and we did cold crash for 5 days, and that probably explains a really nice clarity on this. Very light on the apple, very light on the apple. I added 13 drops of the Fuji apple flavoring. I'm excited to try this. Cheers. It still kind of maintains that bitterness of the apple that we were getting utilizing the real apple. Get the cinnamon. I get a toasty, really nice toasty component to it. We may have added too many bittering hops in this. We utilized the Pato hop for bittering. I think the Fuggles is more of a casual, soft bitterness, whereas the Pato comes off a little on the harsher end. But this is nice. This is really nice. A little high on the bitterness, as I mentioned, but you do get the brown malt does come through. It actually the brown malt, we added 2 pounds of it, which is quite a bit. Comes through kind of like a roasty character. And the beer is fantastically thinner than in past years that we've brewed this beer. We didn't utilize any flaked adjuncts in this, but the flaked adjuncts really add to the body of it. Unfortunately, they tend to cloudy the beer up. But this is actually really nice. This would be really nice with Thanksgiving dinner because it's not too sweet, it doesn't overpower the palate, and the bitterness will help aid in the tasting some of the Thanksgiving food as well. This is going to be really nice for Thanksgiving. I'm really excited. Let's continue on with the brew day. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys could see that or not, but We are sitting at 1.062. We were aiming for 0.65, so I'll take that, especially for the third time on a new rig. That's not bad at all. And we came in at a little bit over 5.6 gallons. I was shooting for 5.25. So my thinking is, if we can get down to that 5.25 gallon mark, we would have hit our OG dead nuts at 0.65. It may have even been higher. So we finished at just under 70% efficiency, which is par for the course in terms of what we got on the first brew that we did, the New England IPA. As you can see, it's a little hazy, but hopefully the yeast will help clear that out. And unfortunately, I did transfer quite a bit of hops over into the fermenter by accident. So not ideal, but hopefully that stuff kind of, doesn't sit in solution. And cold crashing will certainly help as well in the clarifying agents we used. But let's take a sip of this thing. Yeah, very sweet. I'm actually very happy with the sweetness. I didn't think it was going to be that sweet. Very nice. And obviously it's bitter. It's just the hydrometer sample of the OG. But that's it for the brew day. I'm going to pitch the yeast shortly. We put the yeast on a 1 liter starter. And it's the Imperial Julius, which should give us some really nice citrus notes, some orange and maybe some Tangelo and things like that. Brandon, I know how much you love when I say Tangelo. But that's it. And what we have coming up, we're going to be doing a really awesome beer. It's a collaboration with Dennis at Woodshed Brewing. And so we're going to record that brew day as well, and I'm really excited about that. And we'll keep the beer style and things under wraps until the brew day itself, because it's really going to be a fun beer. Nothing that folks haven't done by any stretch, but it's our first time wading into the waters of that kind of specific beer style, and we're really excited to do it. So cheers.